All right, we are live here on Excel 10 Minute Leaders Live. My name's Graham Brown, joined here in the virtual studio by Peter Christian, all the way from the US. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So, we're going to talk about your books as well, and we're going to talk about your journey in all different areas, talking about vermin, influence. It's a very wide range of subjects we're
Yes.
going to cover today. Before we get started, let's do the formalities. What's on your business card, Peter?
Well, I have a couple of different ones. The primary one I'm using is my author business card. It talks about my books and has information on me as to how you can get in touch with me to either talk about them, or I still do some consulting and I do speaking. So you can get in touch with me to talk about all of those things, any or all.
All right, so let's talk about the latest book. What's the title?
Okay, the latest book is Influences and Influencers. It's actually the second book that I've written and had published. And it really talks about the things that have impacted myself in life and in my career, and also things that would impact other people. Uh, People either through their educational experiences, just growing up, certainly in the business world, and they were impacts that were both positive and negative. Things where it said, I really would like to be like that person. I really respect what they're doing and believe in what they're saying. And similarly, people who had the adverse kind of influence on me, where I said, I don't agree with that person is saying or doing, and I wouldn't want to be or act like that. So we all have those people and also experiences, things that we go through in life, and they impact us. We take them along with us as experience, and they help to guide us as we continue to kind of work our way through life and make various decisions and take actions.
Who was, for you personally, a very positive influence in your life?
I think the first one was, well, certainly my parents. I think everybody's parents influence them one way or the other. But if you get away from the family, there were a number of different instructors I had, both in high school and in college, particularly my advisor in college, Dr. Keebler, who behind the scenes was getting scholarships for me that I didn't know about until one day things would show up in my post office box that said, "Congratulations, you now got this scholarship." And he was someone I could talk to once I finished my undergraduate studies and wanted to continue at the school. He said, "I really don't think we have the program for you. I think you need to go to a different school. Not that we don't want to have you, but I think it would be good for you. You get a different perspective. And if once you get done, you decide you want to come back here and study some more, we'll be happy to have you." So he was a terrific influence on my life. And just the fact that here was somebody who was doing something for me. I never asked for it. I had no idea he was doing it. And like I said, all of a sudden I would get the surprise notice. And I think there are people in our lives that work behind the scenes and we don't know about a lot of times and don't always appreciate them.
With that in mind, that knowledge that there are these people looking out for us, potential mentors, influences, positive way, and also the negative influences,
Yes.
how do you use that information to improve your outcomes?
Well, I think as you face certain situations, you draw back on those experiences, and you might say, well, how would, in this case, Professor Keebler or one of the other people that I had a lot of respect for, how would they deal with this? Or if I've had experiences like this before, how have I acted in the past? And is that situation similar to what I'm dealing with now? So you draw off of it. If it's something brand new, you've got to pull together the best information you have, the best knowledge you have. Sometimes you have to go to other people and get a little bit of advice and say, I'm stuck with this. How do you think I should act and react? Life is constantly a learning experience. Even at this advanced age for me, I'm still continuing to learn things,
Oh, yeah.
and it definitely changes the judgments that I have about things. It's a different world, and we have to stay up with it.
Absolutely. The only time the learning stops is when you're in your box, right?
Yeah,
So
and even then, who knows?
who
We
knows?
learn all sorts of new things then. Yeah.
Well, we'll find out one day, I'm sure.
Yes,
So
we
I
will. That
know
that about the experiences. Yeah.
I mean, your books it's about influencers and
Yes.
influences, and there's a lot of talk these days about influencers, on
Mm.
social media, and it seems to be a very different type of influence that you're talking about. When you see people talking about influence in that context, how does that make you feel?
A little bit uneasy. I think to just hear somebody that you really don't know who spouts things, and there's again some very good people who are very positive. There are some people who have positive messages, but you look at them and go, are they really real, or are they just kind of putting me on? And you can imagine some of those folks. I really don't want to get into naming names, but there are some you just go, they're too slick for me. It's too practiced and too orchestrated. I think
Yeah.
it's the genuine person that you deal with, the person that you get to know, and you really trust their judgment and what they're telling you. Those are the ones who I think have the big, or should have the biggest impact on you. And I think that unfortunately we tend to give people titles too quickly. Influencers. Somebody comes out
Mm.
with an idea and right away they're an influencer. Well, why? What made them an influencer? What did they do that really influenced anything? They're telling us all sorts of stuff, but what are they doing that's influencing us? Whereas when you have that connection with a person, and you're working with them and you truly see what they're doing and how it influences you or other people, to me, that's a lot more genuine, and those are the type of people that I would gravitate to more than the ones that everybody else throws up in front of us and says, "Oh, they're a celebrity." Well, why are they a
Yeah.
celebrity? Because they're on TV or radio or whatever, and they're getting a lot of press. To me, that's not impressive.
No, it's not earned. All right. Talking about yourself now, Peter,
Okay.
what would be something that surprises me and the audience about your story? I mean, there's a few years of history there.
Yeah.
We've only just scratched the surface from your recent works as well.
Hmm.
What would surprise me if I was to sit with you and learn about your background?
What would surprise you? Perhaps that I'm from New York City because I don't think I have that New York City accent. So that would be one thing that I think would be surprising. I would think another thing is in the day I was a pretty good athlete and I actually scored 59 points in a basketball game once in my
Wow.
career, and I'm only 5'10", so people would go, you're not exactly Michael Jordan or LeBron James. I was never so tired in my life after that. I literally couldn't lift my arms. So God bless players who can do that on a regular basis. So I
What
think that'd
happened to
be.
what happened to your athlete career?
I got old. I grew up in New York City. I played on the playgrounds with the asphalt. It's taken a toll on my knees. I'm starting to feel it now, all that jumping. And there was no give with asphalt if you played on asphalt before. So it's definitely taken a toll on me. But hey, I
Yeah.
got my time in. And at 68 years old, I see guys now. I was just watching the Olympic trials, and guys who are 25 and 26 years old are considered old, and there's
Yeah.
the younger guys that are surpassing. I'm going, they're only 25 or 26, and they're already old for their sport. So, I've had a
Yeah.
good run. I've had a good run.
Exactly. Cannot complain. All
No.
right. Fantastic. And where do we find out more about you and your work?
Three different places. One, I'm on
Mm.
LinkedIn, so you can go to my LinkedIn page. You can, and I'm sure there's other Peter Christians, but look for me under author and adjunct professor, uh, and my book names, Influences and Influencers, and What About the Vermin Problems. That's one. You can go to my website, which is petechristianbooks.com, and there's all sorts of information about me and writings and so forth. And then the last is my email address, which is phchristian and the number 53 at gmail.com. And if you write to me and have a request or want to chat or whatever the case may be, I would love to do that. So those are 3 areas: LinkedIn, my website, or through my email address.
You got it all there. That's Peter Christian, everybody, the author. Peter, thank you so much for joining
Sure.
us on the show today.
Terrific. Thank you.